watch it from there.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom. And let's get started. We need to, should I say warm up the room? Maybe not a good choice of words for this evening. But you know what I'm talking about.
Page 2, Hine Mato, the Hebrews on page 2. Hine Mato, Umanayim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. Hine Mato, Umanayim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. Let's try it again. Hine Mato, Umanayim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. Hine Mato, Umanayim, Shevet Achim, Gam Yachad. After me, how good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is
to be together on this day. How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is to be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov u'manayim shevet achim gam yachad.
How good it is.
How good it is.
How sweet it is.
How sweet it is to be together on this day.
How good it is. How sweet it is.
To be together on this day. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shalom Aleichem, Salam Aleikum. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. And welcome to everyone who's sitting here with us in the sanctuary. And we say Shabbat Shalom and welcome to everyone who's joining us at home. Even though there's a physical distance, through the magic of this technology, we're together as one Kehillah Kedusha, one holy community, ready to greet the Shabbat, this day of rest, and to bring a little holiness, a little sacredness and spirituality into our lives. It's hot outside, but it's nice in the sanctuary, the warmth of our being together, but the air conditioning that's keeping us cool. And this is a special Shabbat, and we, all of us here, are going to have the privilege of witnessing and taking part in a very significant ceremony as Courtney Carter, our daughter-in-law to be, it's for emphasis. Every time I say something significant, the sound system feeds back and says, ooh, right? This evening is welcomed officially into Jewish life. And that's going to take place in a few moments as a part of our service. But before we get there, I would love for all of us to connect to one another and just take a few minutes to turn to the left, to the right, in front and behind, and say Shabbat Shalom and welcome. Introduce yourself as someone you don't know. And welcome each other. So we envision Shabbat as this very special day set aside from all the others, a day where we say stop to the craziness of our lives and take the opportunity to rest and to rejuvenate our souls, to be together at one with our family, with our community, with our own thoughts that so often get lost as we're running the rest of the week. This day of perfect peace and rest. And we envision the Malachei Hasharet, these angels that come and accompany us through the Sabbath day. And that's the theme of the next song that we love to sing in the same melody that we sang last week with a spicy Latin rhythm. Shalom Aleichem, the words are on page 7 in our book. And we'll try not to go too fast, and you try to keep up because it's a lot of fun. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Alechem Malachei HaSharet Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch. Let's do that again. Just try to sing along. Shalom Alechem Malachei HaSharet Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. One more time. Shalom Alechem Malachei HaSharet Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem L'Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei HaShachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Back to the chorus now. Shalom Alechem Malachei HaSharet Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Alechem Malachei HaSharet Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni L'Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Malachei Malachei HaSharet Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Malachei Malachei HaSharet Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shalom Alechem.
Shalom Alechem, Shalom Alechem, Shalom Alechem, Shalom Alechem. That's easy, try that. Shalom Alechem, Shalom Alechem, Shalom Alechem, Shalom Alechem. Seidechem L'Shalom Malachei HaShalom Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Hamlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Shalom Alechem.
Shalom Alechem. Shalom Alechem. Shalom Alechem. Shalom Alechem. Shalom Alechem. Shalom Alechem. Shalom Alechem. One more time. Shalom Alechem. Shalom Alechem. Shalom Alechem. Shalom Alechem.
Thank you for that. Beth?
Don't worry, this was not an audition. I saw you trying, and it's a challenging piece, and it's really fun. And it's welcoming the peace of Shabbat. You know, when two Jews meet, and it's not Shabbat, there's a greeting we say. We say, Shalom Alechem. Same thing, accent in a different place. And what's the reply? So let's try it. Shalom Alechem.
Hello.
And in the Muslim world, Arabic speakers, when they greet one another, what do they say? Salam alaikum. And what's the reply?
Alaikum.
Alechem salam. We're not that far off. We really are cousins. So our service continues now on page 8 with the lighting of the candles for Shabbat. And we talked about the simcha of Courtney's conversion, but there's another simcha in the air. Karma's daughter, Ellie, who we've known since she was three is getting married next week to her longtime partner, Zach Citron. They're getting married in Denver. And in honor of the simcha, we're inviting Karma to come up onto the bima to light the candles for Shabbat.
We're on page 8.
Bring some of that simcha here.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Karma. We wish you blessing, and we wish you mazel as you make the journey to Denver next week to celebrate the great simcha. We have been working together for 29 years. We've earned every one of these gray hairs. But part of the pleasure of working together is not only the work, but the sharing of each other's lives and the sharing of the lives of our family. So we watched Ellie grow up from a little peanut to a very bright and very talented and very articulate young woman who is an editor, a book editor. Something about books in your family. And we are so very proud of her and who she has become, and we've met Zach and we totally approve. And so please send the love and blessings from all of us to them at the wedding, and we'll be there in spirit. Mazel tov.
Can I say something about Shalom Aleichem?
Sure. You might want to grab the mic.
Have to add, we talked about Shalom Aleichem amongst our Jewish friends and Salam Aleikum amongst our Muslim friends, but we should also add in our Catholic friends who greet each other with peace be to you and also to you. Shalom Aleichem, Aleichem Shalom.
Gee, aren't those words exactly the same? Shame we spend too much time worrying about what's different. We should focus more on what we share that's the same. So our service continues now. Thank you, Karma. On page 9, and those who are able, we invite you to stand for the call to worship the Baruch Hu.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach.
la 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 la, la 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 la, ya la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la.
Listen, Yisrael, Adonai, our God is one. Listen, Israel, Adonai, our God is one. Listen, Israel, Adonai, our God is one. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Leolam Vaed.
Please be seated.
We continue on the middle of, no? Oh, we don't?
Ceremony, the conversion.
Okay. We don't. We will on page 10, eventually.
Shema, listen, hear, pay attention, wake up. All possible translations of the word Shema. And it's the first blessing, the first bracha, the first prayer that our children learn when they start their religious education, along with this foundational teaching of Judaism that there aren't many gods, as our ancestors in prehistoric times believed, with a God of the sun and the moon and the stars, but one God who's the source of all creation, the stars and the planets, the earth, the animals, and all humanity, created by one God. That is the fundamental beginning of Jewish belief, that we are called into existence by one God. And not just the Jewish people, but all people. And that implanted within every person is a spark of the divine. And that our job is to honor that spark and to treat every person we encounter with utmost dignity and respect. That's where Judaism begins. Of course, that's not where it ends. Upon that teaching are so many very important and beautiful and powerful ideas. And you know what? We Jews who were born Jewish, we know that. But we so often take it all for granted. And we forget. And we forget what an important and beautiful tradition we have. And I'm jealous of those who, as adults, had the opportunity to choose it and to learn it and to embody it in their lives. I truly am in awe of them, because it's not an easy thing. Because as Jews, we're a small group. We're different. We're a minority. And we have a checkered history of persecution, as we all know. And so it is with such pleasure and joy that I invite Courtney to join me on the bima this evening as she completes her conversion. Actually, it's already finished. No, come on up. This really is just an affirmation of what already is, because we had a day today that began at the mikveh, the ritual bath at a modern Orthodox synagogue in Oakland. And we had a Beit Din today, Reform Beit Din. Traditionally, it's 3 rabbis. Here in Stockton and Temple, Israel, it's 1 rabbi and 2 very important leaders of our community, Lindy and Karma. But when you came out of the water, you were already Jewish. So this is an affirmation of what already is. And we're going to begin your conversion ceremony by inviting your mom, Jennifer Carter, and your fiancé, wow.
Too early. No, go ahead. It's okay.
Gotta hang on. Our son Jory, to present you with your talit. And this is such a special thing, and the reason we're inviting Jennifer to come up onto the bima is Jennifer is a faithful Catholic. It's a very important part of her life and who she is. And she raised her children in the church, but she also raised her children with an open mind and the ability to make their own choices. And she taught them about so many things. She wanted them to be exposed to the world and to other ways of thinking. And she has been so very supportive of Courtney throughout this process. And we thank you and we honor that. And you have purchased this talit to give to Courtney as a gift. So very special. So why don't we unfurl it? And we'll invite Courtney to recite the blessing first.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahitatef b'tzitzit.
And now what's left is to give her a big hug and a kiss. And I should add, Jennifer, that you did a darn good job raising your daughter. We can't thank you enough. A very important disclaimer as we get started here. We did not twist her arm. We did not pressure her at one moment. We never once said, you need to do this. She came to it on her own accord. And she's going to tell us about it when she speaks at the end of all the ritual we're going to share this evening. And I'm so glad, Courtney, that you were inspired by the so many people in your life who are Jews who surprised you, because I know that it wasn't what you expected. And you articulated it all so well in our Beit Din today. Are you ready? At this sacred and joyous moment, we renew the covenant at Sinai between God and the people of Israel, recalling the words of the prophet Isaiah, "Sojourners shall join them and shall become one with the house of Israel." In this holy space, we welcome you, Courtney, into Jewish life. Knowing well our difficult history, you have chosen to join yourself to our people's faith. And we, all of us here, our hearts go out to you. May you be strengthened in your resolve. May we help you to live faithfully to the decision you are making and to the promise you are about to utter. May you always find satisfaction and joy in fulfillment of sacred deeds, and may you be granted many years of strength and happiness as a worthy member of our congregation. Temple Israel's counting on you. May you feel the warm embrace of the Jewish people for whom you now are a part. I have some questions to ask. Do you choose to enter the eternal covenant between God and the people Israel and to become a Jew of your own free will?
I do.
Do you commit yourself to the pursuit of Torah and Jewish knowledge?
I do.
Do you promise to establish a Jewish home and to participate actively in the life of the synagogue and of the Jewish community?
I do.
If you should be blessed with children, full stop. Do you promise to raise them as Jews?
I do.
Do you commit to building a meaningful relationship with the state of Israel and its people?
I do.
Do you accept Judaism to the exclusion of all other religious faiths and practices?
I do.
Do you pledge your loyalty to Judaism and to the Jewish people under all circumstances?
I do.
Last week, Jews all around the world celebrated the holiday of Shavuot. It's a harvest festival, but it also celebrates the giving of the Torah on Mount Sinai and our people's consecration, our commitment to embracing Jewish tradition and the commandments of Jewish life. And the special reading in the synagogue on Shavuot comes from the book of Ruth, who we hold up as the righteous convert to Judaism because, like you, Courtney, Ruth made a choice, and she didn't have to make that choice. And her mother-in-law, actually, unlike Lindy, was encouraging her not to follow, but to go back to her own people, to her own tribe. But something possessed Ruth to stay with her mother-in-law, Naomi, and she spoke powerful words that are an inspiration to us all, and I invite you to speak those words from the book of Ruth. Oh, hang on, we need to get the mic.
Entreat me not to leave you, nor turn me away from joining you. For wherever you go, I will go, and wherever you lodge, I will lodge. Your people will be my people, and your God, my God. Where you die, I will die, and there I will be buried. I vow before God that nothing but death could part me from you.
Beautiful. And now I invite you to join me in front of the ark. Hold this for a second. We stand before the ark and before the commanding presence of these Sifrei Torah, these 4 Torah scrolls. This is the most precious possession of the Jewish people. We call it our tree of life because just like a real tree provides wood and fruit and shade and paper and all kinds of things that sustain and nurture Jewish life, the Torah has sustained the Jewish people. And we have carried it with us throughout our wanderings in the globe, and we've studied it and learned from it. It's given us our history. And like we joked about in the office today, something that inspired you in one of the talks I gave here, when asked, Rabbi, are all those stories in the Torah true? I always say they're all true, whether they happened or not, because they define what it means to be a Jew, and they define the values of how we live our lives. Today, Courtney, we place the Torah in your arms, because now it belongs to you as well. Treasure it and continue to learn from it. You've said these words many times before, but today you say them for the first time officially as a member of the Jewish people.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Hear, O Israel, Adonai is our God, Adonai is one. Baruch Hu Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. Blessed is God's glorious majesty forever and ever.
And the words that follow are actually a continuation of the Shema. When you read those words in the Torah, the very next word is V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha. You shall love the Lord. And please share this wonderful translation.
Love Adonai your God with every heartbeat, with every breath, with every conscious act. Keep in mind the words I command you today. Teach them to your children. Talk about them at home and at work, whether you're tired or you're rested. Let them guide the work of your hands. Keep them in the forefront of your vision. Do not leave them at the doorway of your house or outside your gate. They are reminders to do all my mitzvot, that you can be holy for God. I am Adonai your God.
How beautiful to hear those words roll off your tongue. I know you're going to be a good teacher, God willing, for my grandchildren. Not only with the words that you speak, but by the example you set and how you live your life and who you are as a person. You are known by the name Courtney, which means you will always be linked in love to those who gave you life. That does not change. And from this time forth, you get a new name as well. Actually, only kind of new, and I'll explain that in a moment. You shall also be known by the name, your Jewish name, Yehudit, Bat Avraham V'Sarah, Judith, the daughter of Abraham and Sarah, because your Jewish lineage skips a few generations because your parents and grandparents, and as far as we know, going back, were not Jews. So your spiritual lineage goes all the way back to Abraham and Sarah, the first Jews by choice. And that is a badge of honor. And the reason I said I have to explain it in a minute, that this is not an entirely new name, do you know what Courtney's middle name is? It's Courtney Judith Carter. So Yehudit is simply the Hebrew pronunciation of Judith. And where does that name come from? Judah, the ancient Jewish kingdom of Israel. And where did the Jewish people get their name Jews? From Judah. I'm feeling that maybe there's some deep connection here, a seed that was planted, I don't know, thousands of years ago, or maybe just in your parents' choice in giving you that beautiful name. And your mom explained, you can translate Courtney Judith from the court of Judah, or the court of Judith. So I don't know, I guess the stars were already aligned that you would someday become a Jew. May this name bring respect to you, and may it bring honor to the Jewish people. We rejoice to welcome you into the midst, one who willingly and devotedly helps replenish the ranks of our people, as our people have done through the ages. I ask God's blessing upon you with ancient words. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chunecha. May God's countenance shine upon you and be gracious unto you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God's face smile down upon you today and in all the days of your life, as you walk proudly as a member of the Jewish people and enhance the Jewish world and the world at large with all you bring to it, with so much pride and love and joy. And may you know always the gift of shalom, of fullness, contentment, and peace. Amen. And in all happy times, I've actually held it together pretty well. Then won't you come up and join me? At every step along the way today, at the Beit Din, at the mikvah, we've concluded by singing the Shehechianu, the prayer, thanking God for bringing us to a special moment and giving us life and sustaining us. And each time we sang, I barely got beyond Baruch Atah before I got too emotional to even sing. Please join us.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheanu v'kiman v'higianu lazman hazeh.
And now Courtney has prepared a few words to share with us and to tell us a little more of the story.
Today I choose to join the Jewish people. This is a big moment for me and my family, but I've made this choice before today. Yes, in choosing to convert, but also by choosing to love a Jewish man and his family and his people and community. By choosing to place a mezuzah on our doorpost and choosing to say prayers over Shabbat dinner, choosing to question and wonder and imagine my place in our shared Jewish history. Today is the celebration and acknowledgement of that choice, but I'm not done choosing Judaism. I will affirm this decision every day in my life. When I eat and pray and celebrate and mourn, I choose to do it as a Jew. When I marry the love of my life and someday raise our children, I choose to do it as a Jew. Loving deeply, seeking out joy, and bringing peace is something I like to think I've always done, but through the lens of Judaism, I feel more purposeful and divine. Just as God chose Abraham, the Israelites, Moses, and Ruth, every Jewish person, whether they were born into or found Judaism, God has chosen me. As Rabbi mentioned, my name, Courtney Judith, means from the court of Judah, who's the son of the matriarch Leah. The Hebrew name of chosen is a translation of my middle name, Judith Yehudit, which means a Jewish woman. So I like to think that I was chosen a long time ago, that it was fate, kismet, destiny, whatever word comes to mind, that I found my beshert, my soulmate, in Jory, and discovered this path to Judaism that I choose to walk throughout my life. Thank you to Mom and Dad, who have been such amazing mentors and teachers. Lindy is truly the best example of a Jewish woman and mother and wife, and I cannot thank you enough for being a guide in building my own home and identity. You're a role model to so many here, but I'm lucky that I also get you as my mom. Rabbi Dad, I've had the very, very unique experience of learning about Judaism, not just from you here at Temple, but at every dinner and every conversation we have. You've embraced my curiosity and many questions and shown me that religion is not limited to a time or a place, that your Judaism is shown in every aspect of your life, as I hope it will mine. To my mama, I cannot tell you enough how much your wholehearted support and excitement for me, not just in my conversion or my relationship, but throughout my entire life means to me. Thank you for instilling in me from a very young age a respect for Jewish culture and religion, but for being an incredible example of dedication to your faith in a way that has inspired me to dedicate myself to mine. You've given me every single outfit and garment I've ever worn, so it was fitting that you gave me my first talit. Thank you for this talit, which I see as a symbol of not only your acceptance, but encouragement. And I thank you for my name. And to Jory, my almost husband, for loving, inspiring, supporting me, and for encouraging me without ever expecting. My love of Judaism is somehow both very distinct, yet inseparable from my love for you, and my intensity for one just amplifies the other. Thank you for sharing your life with me. I'm so honored by the kindness and support that I've received from the Temple Israel family. Thank you for joining in this joy with me tonight and welcoming me with the most open arms.
Thank you, Courtney, for inspiring us with those wonderful words and for just being you. We are so proud of you, and we stand in awe. You know, I said it's not easy becoming a Jew. How about becoming a Jew and joining the rabbi's family and the soloist's family, which sort of puts you in a fishbowl, and you didn't flinch when we asked you to sing at the High Holiday live stream service. You said sure. When we asked you if you'd be in the Purim spiel, you said sure. And everything along the way, you've just embraced with so much love and gusto and enthusiasm, and we love it as we love you. And here's a certificate to remind you of this great day in your life. And there's so much more to come. But for now, we're going to sing you back to your seat with Siman Tov and Mazel Tov.
Siman Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Siman Tov, Siman Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Siman Tov, Siman Tov and Mazel Tov and Mazel Tov and Siman Tov. Yehelanu, 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 Ula Kolam Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ula Kolam Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ula Kolam Yisrael, Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Ula Kolam Yisrael.
Our service continues on page 11 with Micha Mocha.
Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, Mi chamocha nedar you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Moses and the children crossed the sea. They sang to you in songs of joy. Who is like you, Adonai? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai. Mi chamocha nedar b'kodesh.
Continue on the bottom of page 13. Those who are able, please rise.
Anananananana Adonai. Anananananana Satai Tiftach. Anananananana Ufi Agid. Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Anananananana Adonai. Ananananana Satai Tiftach. Ananananana Ufi Agid. Ufi Agid Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Leah, Elohei Rachel. Ha'el, Hagadol, Hagibor, Ve'hanora, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, Ve'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chastei Avot Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei B'neihem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava. Melech Ozer u'Mashiach u'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham ve'Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor le'olam Adonai, Mechaye HaKol, Atah Rav le'Hoshia, Mechakel Chayim bechesed, Mechaye HaKol berachamim rabim, Somech noflim verofech cholim, Umatir asurim, Umekayem emunato lishanei afar, Michamocha b'gevurot, Umido melech, melech meimit, umechaye, umatzmiach Yeshua.
V'ne'emanata l'hachayot hakol.
Baruch atah Adonai, Mechaye hakol. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, Ukadoshim bechol yom, Yehalelu chasela. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh. Please be seated. In honor of Courtney's journey, we'd like to sing a beautiful song about another journey, but maybe it's Courtney's journey too. Lechi lach.
Lechi lach
To a land that I will show you. Lech lecha to a place you do not know. Lechi lach, on your journey I will bless you, and you shall be a blessing. shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Lechi lach. And I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi lach. On your journey I will bless you. Lesimchat chayim. Lesimchat chayim. Lesimchat chayim. Lechi lach. Lechi lach. Lechi lach. And I shall make your name great. Lech lecha, and all shall praise your name. Lechi lach, to the place that I will show. Lesimchat chochmah.
Lesimchat
Chochmah. Lesimchat chochmah. Lesimchat chochmah. Lechi lach.
And you shall
Please
be a
join us.
blessing.
You shall be a blessing. And you shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. You shall be a blessing. Lechi lach. Let us take a few quiet moments for each of us to turn inward and to pray the prayers that come not from the printed page, but the words printed on our hearts. Think about the blessings that you have in your life and how you can be a blessing.
We're on page 18. Elohai, Elohai Netzor Lishoni Meira. Oh my God, watch over me. Take the hurt away from how I speak. Only love flows from you. May every word I speak be true. Elohai Netzor Lishoni Meira. Elohai Netzor Lishoni Meira. When words are thrown, I'll hold my tongue and breathe the air of songs I've sung. That refrain I'll repeat. There's more to you than only me. Elohai Netzor Lishoni Meira. Elohai Netzor Lishoni Meira. Usvatai medaber mirmam. Velim kalalai nafshi tidam venashif ke'apar lako Hi na na, hi na na na. Hi na na, hi na na na. Hi na na, hi na na na. Hi na na, hi na na na.
We sang Lechi Lach a few minutes ago in honor of Courtney's conversion ceremony and the journey that she's traveling officially today, becoming a part of the Jewish people. And we did so with the prayer that her new identity will be a blessing to her, as we know she will be a blessing to us, I assure you. She already is. And it just so happens that blessings is one of the themes of this Shabbat. And not just because of the simcha we just shared, but because our Torah portion, this Shabbat, is the source for the special blessing that I recited for her, the Birkat Kohanim, the priestly blessing. It's the same blessing recited throughout the ages by rabbis, and it goes all the way back to the days of the ancient temple in Jerusalem. So those special words have a long history. But as Debbie Friedman wrote in her beautiful song, Lechi Lach, paraphrasing words from the Torah, you shall be a blessing. God said to Abraham and Sarah, the first two Jews, and by the way, the first two Jews by choice, go on a journey to a place that I will show you. God didn't say to Abraham and to Sarah, recite a special blessing. God said, be a blessing, which brings me to an experience that I recently had that I'd like to share. As some of you know, Lindy and I had the honor and privilege last month of officiating at a destination wedding in Mexico at a very beautiful and exclusive resort in Riviera Maya, just a short drive from Cancun. It was for Danielle, the daughter of longtime friends Sue and Gary Schwartzman, and her now husband Jason, who is originally from Australia. Debbie and Barry, who are here in the second row, were with us. Everything about the weekend was truly magical. The beautiful setting of the hotel, the gathering of friends and family that had flown in from all around the world, the loving spirit and the excitement for this wedding that had been postponed for 2 years because of COVID, and the recognition that Danielle and Jason are a wonderful couple with a bright future ahead. It was all bashared. There was truly good karma all around. But the thing that I think I will remember most years from now was something that happened just after the wedding ceremony. Something totally unscripted, unexpected, that only took a moment, but made a lasting impression. Lindy and I had just finished singing The Bride and the Groom and the wedding party back down the aisle with the traditional Simon Tov and Mazel Tov. And the guests were all heading off to the reception, and I decided to run back to our hotel room to put away the guitar for safekeeping. Now, the quickest route was on a wooden bridge between two of the buildings. And as I headed towards the reception going back the same way, I happened upon a young couple who I recognized as guests at the wedding. They were standing right there on the beginning of the bridge taking a selfie. Well, the passage was narrow, so I couldn't just go around them, but they looked so sweet, and they gladly took me up on my offer to take the picture for them. The young man handed me his phone. Click, click. I preserved the happy moment. And I thought that would be it, and that I'd rush off to the cocktails and the appetizers I was so looking forward to. But as I handed the phone back to the young man, he said, "You're the rabbi, aren't you?" To which, of course, I said, "Yes, I am." And he said to me, "That means you can do a mitzvah, right?" And I said, "Yes, of course, but you don't have to be a rabbi to do a mitzvah." And he said, "I know, but a mitzvah from a rabbi is something extra special." And what followed was a conversation in which he explained to me more clearly just what he was asking. The handsome, sweet couple, Brian and Tammy, which I had just photographed, was about to celebrate their 1-year anniversary. But because they married during the worst of COVID, they didn't get to have a big celebration, and they didn't have a rabbi officiate, and they didn't have a ketubah signing. But now that their anniversary was just days away, they really wanted a rabbi to bless them. The word he was looking for, somewhat awkwardly, was not mitzvah, but bracha, a blessing. They wanted to be blessed by a rabbi. Well, of course, I said, it would be my pleasure to offer a blessing in honor of your marriage. And you're right, it would be a mitzvah for me at the same time. So I lifted my hands, and they closed their eyes, and they bowed their heads as I recited the ancient words. May God bless you and keep you. Right there on a bridge between two buildings. at a Mexican resort. May God's light shine upon you and be gracious to you, with the ocean breeze on my face and a beautiful setting sun at my back. May God's light be lifted up and bring you peace. Amen, said the couple softly as they lifted their heads and opened their eyes, and I wish them a hearty mazel tov. You know, as a rabbi, I have recited that blessing literally hundreds of times at baby namings and bar mitzvahs and weddings and conversions. Each time it is special, as it was with Courtney tonight. But I learned an important lesson on that bridge that night that I think is going to stay with me for a long time. We can all bring blessings to people who need them. Blessings require no special training, I assure you, and no fancy sanctuary or microphone. All a blessing takes is a little time. A few words with someone who needs to be heard, or with two people seeking meaning and recognition amidst the compromises and the lost opportunities of a challenging year. That's all it took. Just a little time and a few kind words. We can all manage that for the Brian and the Tammys in our own lives. For everyone we meet and know caught up in the search for understanding and insight is craving notice and love. Such a simple thing. These blessings, spoken or transmitted in a touch, a smile, a call, making blessings of ourselves. New? We can all be a blessing. Ken Yehi Ratzon. May it be God's will. Amen. And now we're going to read those words from the Torah. Those who are able, I invite you to please rise for Seder Kriyat HaTorah.
Ki metzion
Tetzei Torah, Ki metzion tetzei Torah, Udevar Adonai Mirushalayim, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Baruch Shenatan Torah, Torah, Le'amo Yisrael, B'kedushato. Beit Yaakov lechuvanelcha ba'or Adonai, O house of Jacob, come, let us walk in the light of our God.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Echad Eloheinu, Gadol Adonenu, Kadosh Shemo. Al Shlosha Devarim, Al Shlosha Devarim Ha'olam Omed, Al Shlosha Devarim Ha'olam Omed, Al HaTorah ve'al Ha'avodah ve'al
gemilut chasadim al haTorah ve'al ha'avodah ve'al gemilut chasadim al shlosha devarim al shlosha devarim ha'olam omed al shlosha devarim ha'olam omed. You may be seated. Yesterday, I had a short conversation with Karma. She was asking me if there was anything special that I wanted her to read from this week's Torah portion. And of course, I was sitting preparing the sermon, and I said, why, of course, yes, as a matter of fact. And we had this interesting conversation. She taught me something that I never learned and had no idea about. You want to tell everyone?
So I find it fascinating that just last week we read the Seret HaDibrot, the Ten Commandments, which is a really big, huge, dramatic Torah reading. You know, you got crazy hard tropes all over the place, and it's just complicated and difficult and really, really hard. And then this week we come to the Birkat Kohanim, which is the simplest, most basic trope in all of Torah. And I always looked at those two moments as the fact that being a blessing, making a small gesture, picking up the phone, is really a simple thing to do. And it's reflected in the trope.
Doesn't have to be big and fancy.
No.
And it's a pleasure to invite onto the bima for the honor of the Aliyah, the newest Jew in the house, and her fiancé, Courtney and Jory. Yamod Rishon Shai Zev ben Yaakov Shira Yehudit bat Avraham v'Sara. We call to the Aliyah, Courtney and Jory.
Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai Hamvarach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai Hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim ve'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Ata Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Vayedaber Adonai el Moshe lemor. Daber el Aharon ve'el banav lemor. Kot varchu et bnei Yisrael. Amor lahem. Yevarechecha Adonai ve'yishmerecha. Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. V'samu et shmi al b'nei Yisrael va'ani avarchem.
Baruch Ata Adonai Eloheinu melech ha'olam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch Ata Adonai Notein HaTorah.
Amen. Yasher Koach. Well done, guys. I think the next time that we're going to be standing on the bima together will be at your wedding. In the presence of our Sefer Torah, we always like to say special blessings, and especially blessings for good health and for healing for our friends and our loved ones who need whatever help and encouragement and strength we can bring to them, including our prayers for a refuah shlema, for a full and speedy healing. Those who are joining us on the live stream, we invite you to share with us the names of your friends and loved ones. Go ahead and send them to us into the chat so we can bring their names into this holy space. And these are the names on our list: Casey Campbell Shadman, Diane Dakin, Randy Watkins, Gabby Lopez Smith, Rebecca Williams, Victor Altman, Samantha Porteous, John Kaplan, Barry Klein, Ellen Clore, Thomas Boggs, Nan Jacobs, Carol Hogue, Diane Smith, Robert Kurz, Rachel Frederick, Brooke Hall, Dan Fine, Andy Bernhard, Albert Greer, and Randy Bell. And I invite everyone here, if you have some names that you'd like to add to our list. Prayers for healing.
Sid Morantz and Frank, Andrew Singer, Ed Eisert, Arla Hesterman, Frank Colapinto, Barbara Bialecki, Lisa Rampola, and Don Cordano, Julia Raposa. Misha Berach is on page 23.
Yishebeirach Avoteinu Mikor HaBracha Le'imotenu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishebeirach Imotenu Mikor HaBracha Le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen.
We add to those names mentioned aloud those of us here who are in need of these same blessings for refuat hanefesh and refuat haguf, for healing of mind and body and spirit. Baruch atah Adonai rofeh hacholim. Blessed are you, O God, who heals the sick.
Amen. Continue on page 24 as we return the Torah to the Ark.
And those who are able, we ask you to please rise.
Vezot
HaTorah asher sam Moshe livnei bnei Yisrael al pi Adonai beyad Moshe.
Ki lekachtav natati lachem
Torati al ta'azovu. Eitz chaim hi Elohim ba v'tomcheha me'ushar deracheha darchei noam v'chol nativotecha shalom hashivenu Adonai elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Yameinu Chadesh Yameinu kekedem.
Page 25.
Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, latet gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoye ha'aratzot, velo samanu kemishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam. Anachnu korim umishachavim umodim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh baruch hu v'ne'emar v'chaya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz Bayom hahu, yeh Adonai echad, ushemo echad.
Please be seated. We conclude each of our services by taking a quiet moment of memory to bring forward the memory of our loved ones who are no longer with us physically, but whom we carry in our hearts. And so they do continue to carry and to bless us. We invite those who are joining us from home on the live stream, if you have names of either someone who has died recently, if you are in the period of Shiva or Shloshim or Shana, the first year of mourning, or if you have a yortzeit that you think that we might not have. And we say Yizkor Elohim. May God remember Jonathan Kelly, remembered with love by his mother, Robin Hall, and her husband, Mike. Jonathan was a young man in his mid-30s, a doctoral student at UC Berkeley, and we met him on several occasions when he came to Stockton, when his parents had their adult B'nai Mitzvah, and at the high holidays. And he was a bright young man with a bright future ahead, and sadly, after a long battle, he died of cancer a few days ago. May his memory be for a blessing. Anyone here who is either in Shiva or Shloshim or Shana who's remembering a loved one who's died in the past year, we invite you to stand and to share with us their names. The following names are the names of those who have a yortzeit, the anniversary of their death, sometime in the week ahead. We remember with love Pearl Sontag, Capel Kolbansky, Emma Van, Philip Feingold, Helen Chatnick, Frona Harrington, Bernard Koretsky, Eva Meyer, Florence Arnold, Manfred Lohengrund, Charlotte Cranston, Sam Sankery, Mildred Berkman, Louis Israels, Nadine Conley, Nancy Hoffman, Charles Epstein, Herbert Bretcher, and Marianne Lipkin.
And I'd like to add these loved ones from our live stream. They're thinking of them this evening: Grandma Chandler and Dunn, Charlotte Constant, Joey Robinow, Herm Lewin, Helen Schneider, Betty Myers, Laura Lee Southern, Gail Weiss, Brock Blair, Aaliyah Deshay.
And we add to the list of loved ones, we're remembering all those who have died in senseless acts of gun violence and all those who have died from COVID-19 as we enter this third year. And the 6 million who died in the Holocaust, so many leaving no one to remember them. We take them all into our hearts along with the memory of our own loved ones who have died, with the prayer that their memories, all of them, will be a blessing as we rise together now and recite on page 26, Mourner's Kaddish. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalma divrach erutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon v'yomechon, u'v'chaye d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'agalau v'zman kariv v'imru amen. Yehe shemei Rabbah mevorach leolam ulomei amaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudisha berichu. La'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran v'yalma v'imru amen. Yehe shlama Rabbah min shemaya v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mramav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to the bereaved among us. And we say amen.
Amen.
Please be seated.
So, lucky for you, I forgot the announcements at home.
Oh.
Because I know it's a little bit late, but I'm going
You'll have to wing it.
I'm going to do a really quick wing it. First of all, Mazel Tov again, Courtney, Jory, Jennifer, the whole family, including us. We're so excited about your journey ahead. And Mazel Tov to Karma, thank you for doing the candle lighting, and Mazel Tov on the upcoming Simcha. Can't wait to hear about it and see the pictures. Thank you, Ari, for making sure that all of those at home are able to join us tonight, and to Beth Sanders for your beautiful music. And we finished, our food fair was a success, yay! Thank you, everybody. We did, it was successful, and we only have some corned beef and strudel left over, but the corned beef is in the freezer. If you are interested in corned beef or strudel, please let the office know. We have a few sour cream chocolate chip. Oh, yes, sour cream chocolate chip cake, my favorite, I guess. There's some of those, too.
Not if I could help it.
Yeah, if you haven't gotten one of those, you definitely want to get one. Let's see. Also, our silent auction, that's an online auction, is ending this Sunday, and there are still some items up for grabs, and I hope there'll be some bidding wars toward the end this weekend. We're having a pool party barbecue at our house. There's like 13 spots left over, so please sign up for it. We want to have you and host you at our home. There's desserts by Emily Ripken. She is the best baker in the world. For 20 people, you should try and bid on that. There are baseball cards that are really interesting. There's golf clubs. There's so many experiences.
A cabin.
Check a cabin. That's right. That one's been bid on,
Bear.
but overbid. Let's get someone else get it. It's all going towards Temple Israel.
And the auction actually closes at
noon on Sunday. So that's right. And then finally, I can't remember all the birthdays, but I know Dana Guerin and Dana Lipkin, right? And Jose, happy birthday. And to all of those who are having a birthday this last week.
And why don't we all stand and put our arms around each other?
What? Oh, that's what it was. Israeli dancing. If anybody is interested in Israeli dancing, I teach a class. It's an advanced class, but I would like to start a beginner/intermediate class. For those who want to start catching up, we can learn oldies and some of the new things that I've been teaching, but at a slower pace, we'll get there. So if you want to dance with me, I'll see who's interested, and then we'll try and get it on the schedule that works for the majority of people. So please let me know.
And we invite the Gwozdov Pastor Carter family to all join us up on the bima for Kiddush and Motzi. And let's all stand and put our arms around each other as we sing. Oh, say shalom bimromav, huya say shalom aleinu, he'ako Yisrael, ve'ako yoshvei tevel, ve'imru. Amen. Oh, say shalom b'mavav, huya say shalom aleinu, ve'ako Yisrael, ve'ako yoshvei tevel, ve'imru. Amen. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Oh, say shalom b'mromav, huya say shalom aleinu, ve'oko Yisrael, ve'oko yoshvei tevel, ve'imru. Amen. Ve'imru. Amen. One more time. Ve'imru. Amen.
Woo! Thank you to Deborah for making challah. It's very beautiful tonight. And I just want to make one mention. Don't leave Oneg without trying the chocolate chip banana cake. If you didn't buy it at the food fair, I made it tonight so you can sample it, and then next year you can buy it.
She's always selling something.
I'm always selling something. Here we go.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Amen. L'chaim.
Woo! Look at this. Beautiful. It's delicious looking.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Now let's all say Shabbat Shalom on the count of shalosh to everyone on the live stream. And Ari's running back to shut it off in a minute. Ready? Chad, shtayim, shalosh.
Shabbat Shalom.
And Shabbat Shalom to all of you. Please join us for our Oneg.